So, upon visiting claridoncopper.com and reading document the description of mineral occurrences Bellasgate by A. Fenton, it is revealed that Silver Hill in St. Andrew slash Portland Parish has silver. Now, it also mentions that there does exist copper in Cooper's Hill. Coming across this got my interest because, to what I know of Cooper's Hill, the geology is carbonate based. So I then looked at the landscape of the Cooper's Hill area and basically going into observing the geologic map as provided by Professor Simon Mitchell. I could see that the Above Rocks Inlier is nearby the area of Cooper's Hill. What also I would have found, or I actually see, is that the Cooper's Hill area is sitting above the general inlier of Above Rocks. This basically, from the angle of the geology speaking, is stating that Cooper's Hill is thrusted above rocks. And this thrust is highly linked to tectonic activity, such as earthquake fault zones. So, if copper is or would have been found in Cooper's Hill, and mark you, this document would have been drafted from as far back as the 1960s, if I am to be fully accurate. Then, basically speaking, what it now begs to question is what is the extent at which copper is located within Cooper's Hill and surrounding environs. It also begs the question in terms of the inherent geologic history that surrounds copper and whether or not it is extensive within carbonate zones such as in Cooper's Hill. So in other words, while it's a case that the geologic literature will highlight that Jamaica is predominantly covered in in limestone, and we then know would come across the literature that indicates that the most predominant resource in the context of non-metallic would be that of bauxite and limestone. Here now is begging the question, is it possible that there does exist zones of copper minerals within the white limestone and even in the impure limestones, specifically those located adjacent or even interbedded in areas that volcanic rocks or inliers are located? This question has validity because this report is similar to what it is that I would have seen in the Bellasgate area as an example, whereby there exists malachite and other copper related minerals associated with carbonate rocks that are within the Bellasgate area. And now, basically, this report is suggesting that there could be similar mineralization within areas adjacent to the above rock inlier. So, with that being said, this pretty much is now again suggesting that focus should be paid towards all inliers across the country and all of the carbonate groups surrounding and potentially interbedded within the inliers themselves, uh, to see whether or not there exists copper-based minerals and other similar mineralizations. Just to quickly go back to the Silver Hill Peak hosting silver minerals, it is very interesting because Silver Hill Peak is considered a member of the Blue Mountains. As a matter of fact, it's even within the Blue Mountain Inlier. The Blue Mountains is uh, specifically known more so for its ecotourism. Not much is really expressed in terms of its potential uh, mineral value. Um, Mineral value in the context of geotourism, as an example. And when you think about now what the literature will more so specify in terms of the geologic history of the Blue Mountain era, speaking on the angle of uh, arc or subduction based geologic origin and orogeny or mountain building, um, then we look at the fact that we have a lot of metamorphic rocks and some form of intrusives. There is not that much spoken about the minerals present. This, in my view, is a gap that needs filling.